I am Hans and this is my channel. We are back for another van build here. I'm putting a little insulation up here on the roof. As you can see, I've got a few panels in already. I've got one more to go, just so I could kind of show you guys how I was doing it. I'll put one up here so you guys can see. I have found that the best way to do it is cut them just a little bit longer than what this space is, just like 1/8 of an inch. And then they'll shove right up in here and they'll stay. And I'm gonna put shiplap on the top here. We're gonna paint it and then we'll do shiplap all the way across. So I'm not too worried about it. If they do decide to sag down, it's just gonna sit down on top of the shiplap. So I'm not that worried about it. A lot of people will glue these in. I'm not saying it's a bad idea, that's just not how I'm doing it. And then I'm gonna put some panels up in here, all the way around, I guess like this. So we'll do panels up in there, and then inside this, these cavities here, I know it's not gonna really make that big of a difference, but I've got some of this stuff here, which is fire soundproofing type of stuff. And so anywhere I can shove that to kind of fill in any holes here inside of these doors, there's lots of just empty space. And so I'm gonna fill in as much as I can. And then also down here on all of this stuff, we're gonna stick all that stuff, and then we're gonna do plywood up against here, which you will not see any plywood except for in the garage. And there'll be a little piece right here that actually we'll see. Everything else is gonna get covered up with cabinets and everything else, but I'm putting plywood in just so I have something to screw into. And also if I decide to not put it back on my cabinet or whatever, I just don't have to worry about it.
Let's go!
So I'm gonna finish insulating. It's not really an exciting part, but then I'm gonna start framing. I started this at about 4 o'clock. It gets dark here at about 4:30, so you can see the sun going down. It's probably like 5 or 6 right now. So anyway, didn't take too long. Got all the insulation in. So some of you guys might be asking, why are you insulating this when you have windows that are huge and it's just gonna let all that cold air in? I'm just reducing the amount of cold air that's gonna be able to get through here. I am gonna make some curtains that will go on here that will have some kind of R value to them, and that will actually keep a lot of the heat in the van, or depending on if we're really hot, it's gonna be all up to the circulation too. And I've got 2 fans that I'm gonna put in, one on each side. So I'll have one over here by the kitchen and the shower, and then I'll have one back here by where we're sleeping. So we'll have good airflow this way or this way, whichever way we have it set up. This is not a hard job, but it is a messy job. So one thing about insulation is you don't want to pack the insulation in really super tight. You want it to stay fluffy so there's nice airflow in there. The stuff I'm using is a fireproof, sound resistant stuff from Attic Cat. And so I'm really thinking that this is gonna make this thing drive much quieter. I have a whole nother bag of it that I'm gonna use inside the back doors and over here, and I'm sure I'm gonna have some leftovers, but I wanted to make sure I got everything insulated. But I just made all my seams so they're really super tight. And there's no room in here anywhere or in here anywhere, so that's just sitting in there really, really snug. This stuff is put in so it's holding each piece in, so neither one of those can come out. As soon as there's something here to hold one of those in, they're all gonna stay right where they are. And these are really sturdy beams right in here, so I left these exposed because I might actually build a rack depending on where I put my solar system. And I'm still trying to decide if I'm gonna put that in the front over here or if it's gonna be in the back where those brackets are. We're gonna put in some regular outlets that'll come off of the inverter, and we're going to put in a power for the shower head. We're gonna put in all of the USB plugs and everything else. And so once I have everything sitting here where I know where everything is, I think it's gonna be much easier for me just to say, oh, we're gonna need a plug here, we're gonna need a plug here, we need a switch here. I think my next step is gonna be framing. So we're gonna frame everything in so I know where it is on the floor. Then I'm gonna start running my wires for all of my electricity. That is my next step. And so we are going to start framing. So we made some pretty good progress today. I didn't get everything done that I wanted to do, but I did make that cool step. That thing is awesome. Just kidding. But I did get the wheel wells done. I've got all my pieces cut for the side over here. I want to go ahead and just pull them out, put my plugs in, and then I may end up actually painting all this stuff before I put it back in. Don't know yet. I haven't made that decision yet. We're gonna go ahead and get all the electrical run. I'm gonna have stuff that's gonna be coming from my solar panel stuff that's over here. I'm gonna have all of my solar charge controllers and all that stuff. But I'm gonna need some wires that are gonna have to go up here for lights and for the fans. So the only piece of advice I can give you at this point in your build, if you are doing something like this, is think of everything. Think of all of the different outlets that you're gonna need, just regular plugs that you're gonna need to have. I'm gonna need one by my kitchen. I'm gonna want one down here so I can charge a laptop. I'm gonna put two back here in the garage just in case I'm back here and I need to run some tools or charge my tools. And I'll probably put another one right up in the front, right next to the passenger seat on that wall, so that we have one right by the slider door as well, just in case, you never know. I'd rather have too many and not use them than have to run extension cords and try to figure stuff out. I am gonna put a light in the shower. So up there will be a light. So I wanna go ahead and plan for that. So that's gonna be on its own switch. When you put your light on its own switch, you've gotta figure out where the switch is gonna be, and there's just a lot you gotta think about. So don't rush this part. Take your time. I'll check in with you though as soon as I've got all the electrical run so you can see what it looks like. So I had a heck of a weekend and I got a lot done. This is actually pretty amazing what we got done. I got some panels in. So we have all of my solar cables. We've got all the lights and all the switches and everything are going to be right here. They're running through this pillar, coming down, coming out of here. I'm going to have my solar controller down here with I have different pieces down here that are going to be charging from the battery of the vehicle to the batteries here when we're driving. We have a switch that we got for that. So when the car is running, it will actually start charging the system here. But when the car is turned off, it'll be running off the solar panels. And it's just a little box. It's a switch. I think it's kind of a newer thing from Renogy. So we're going to be hooking that up. I've got my outlets in right there and there. I got USBs. Got an outlet here, USB, and I've got switches and an outlet here. So we'll have outlet there. This is going to be a light switch for this front area where the kitchen is going to be. There'll be 4 lights. That's going to be the switch for that. We can go ahead and just flip those on when we open the slider to come in. We just have to touch that button, and they are dimmable, so that's kind of nice. There we'll have some more lights back here under the cabinets here, and these will all be on their own switches back here. But I would say for my weekend, never doing this before, I did pretty good. We got to paint everything still, and there's still a little trim that needs to get done, you know, on all this stuff, and I need to finish framing this stuff out so that it's nice and sturdy and fill in this wall back here. I have all my pieces cut, but I'd say pretty good progress for the weekend. So The wiring is going to be the trickiest part here, just because there is so much of it and there's so much to think about. Like I said before, really try to take your time, make sure you don't miss anything. I've got 2 fans, I've got power that I want to put down there in the bathroom or in the kitchen area so that we can plug in a blender or whatever. I just remembered that is I have to run a wire from the battery back here all the way to the back of the van here. So I think I'm going to run that underneath, because there's actually a channel that runs kind of all the way underneath here. So I'll probably run it back underneath the van and have it come up through the floor, because there's already holes in the floor, so no problem. Or we'll drill a new one, because there's just thousands of holes in this floor. I tried to seal them all up and I just keep finding new ones. I think we did pretty good. I mean, it's not bad progress. We've got quite a bit done. Pretty happy with that. One weekend not knowing what I'm doing. So I'm not doing a daily thing because, I don't know, daily stuff, whatever. You get the idea. It's looking pretty good. I'm excited to get this thing done. I don't know how much time I'm going to be able to spend on it this week. Next weekend I'm going to be gone. So it'll get done when it gets done. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you like this kind of content, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell button if you want to see more content like this, and you will see me in the next video.